Welcome back to Sports Center. I'm Tanya Mills, and I may or may not have been hired because of my looks. It's time for another edition of Crossfire. Crossfire is brought to you by Big Boy Male Enhancement Pills. For a free week supply, go to itsbigboy.com. Firing the bullets on today's edition, we've got some big guns. Our very own Brad Dubois, Bill Fawcett of Fan Radio, and the legend, nationally syndicated sports columnist, Eugene Pennington. Gentlemen, welcome. Brad, let's start with you. What do you make of it all this week?
Well, Tanya, you know me. I'm the high-energy guy, and a different generation from the other two guys. I am either a renowned ex-player or one of those WizKid executives who was a complete failure as a GM and now can only get a job in the media. Therefore, I think I know just that little bit more about sports than everyone else. That being said, I sometimes talk a little faster because I don't really say anything. And if I talk slower, people might realize that and hit the off button. And if they hit the off button, they don't watch the commercials. And if they don't watch the commercials, then I, Brad Dubois, do not get paid big bucks for saying absolutely nothing. So that's pretty much how I see it.
Straight to the point as always. Bill?
Look, I'm not trying to be controversial when I say this. You know what? Maybe I am being a bit controversial because I'm a controversial guy. I just say what's on my mind and I don't care who gets offended. That's because I'm for the little guy. And I believe in the dreams all kids have about sports. And so what if I do say the opposite of everyone else to get attention? That's what's made me the #1 drive time sports show on Fan Radio. And I'm proud of that. And to hell with anybody that doesn't like it.
Whoa, that's why we love you, Bill. So, moving on to the guru, the doyen of them all, Eugene Pennington, who joins us from his home in Connecticut. Eugene?
Well, yes, I am the doyen of them all. And I do take myself very seriously. Hence, why I am sitting in front of a shelf full of very intellectual books. And as I talk to people inside and outside the league, and I talk to everybody, and I have the respect and admiration of everyone, it's clear to me that these types of lowbrow journalism are far beneath my level. Why do I contribute? Well, if one can be an oasis in the desert, then one owes it to one's admirers. As for the other two contributors, I'm reminded of something the famous coach Red Cherry once said to me after the playoffs in 1973. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him a stud.
Well, I gotta jump in there, Eugene, and I do have the utmost respect for you. But I also have 1 million Twitter followers.
Wait a minute. I just got to
but I
say
haven't
this, and I know some people might
finished.
find this a bit strong, but I just got to say it. You have 1 million followers, right? I just got to say this. So did Adolf Hitler.
What?
Whoa, let's keep it light, guys.
Talking of the low ceiling of Brad's type, I feel sports journalism is ill-served by the types of coarse interventions of those who play to the very worst instincts of the empty-headed sports fan.
Amen to that, and we haven't even mentioned these ridiculous campaigns run by sports shock jocks to have useless players celebrated.
Now look, I have campaigned tirelessly to have Napoleon Joseph, the first Native American, in the Hall of Fame, and I'm proud of that. So he only had 2 home runs and 23 RBIs in 1,100 games. He still deserves to be there. Besides, all I said was Brad and Hitler have the same amount of followers, and that's a proven fact.
Whatever.
Well, of course, I'm not taking sides at all, nor do I feel it's appropriate when one of our members has been arrested for assaulting his wife. Unbelievable.
Well, hey, now, wait a minute. I mean, I pleaded no contest to that. I did not plead guilty and did not admit to anything. Yeah, I've sniffed coke, had a few wives and a lot of broads, been bankrupt. But it's all about redemption. It's a great American redemption story, and the fans love it. And we all know that back in the 1960s, Eugene signed a letter along with a couple of hundred other guys, and that letter said that they didn't think racial segregation should be taken out of sports.
Nice comeback.
You can't be around for as long and as successfully as I have without knowing how to change the subject. On this occasion, I feel it's best not to dwell on small matters such as these, but instead reflect upon a growing and unsavory trend in sports, and that's the uncovering of these terrible stories of sexual harassment. As the old-time pitcher Green Onions once said to me, "Let he who is without sin cast the first spitball."
I never harassed anyone. I was never charged with anything. I did make some goodwill payments to some women, but only because they incurred legal expenses and I didn't want to see them suffering for money. I did it out of pity for them. That's because I care about people and I care about morality and people less fortunate than myself. And here I get accused
I think you said
of
there
this
was
again.
a liberal conspiracy against you.
It was. The liberals hate me because I'm popular and I care about people and I've got morals and they don't like that. Now, while we're on the subject of casting spitballs, sports journalism is also ill-served by a certain closet pervert who's been seen hanging around locker rooms, watching the sportsmen naked in the shower.
As the legendary St. Louis Renegades tough guy Wild Strawberry once said to me, "Fuck off."
Guys, it has been a blast as always. That about does it for another edition of Crossfire, which proved once again that even though I may have been hired because of my looks, I'm still the smartest person in this room.
Crossfire was brought to you by Big Boy Male Enhancement Pills. Are you ready to join the big boys?